The UK-based Sir Robert Alpine Building and Civil Engineering Company selected to pursue a proposed $100 million development project for Prospect Reef Resort is one of 3 companies that have submitted bids to carry out work on the TB Lettsome International Airport expansion project. This was confirmed by Premier Dr. Orlando Smith when responding to questions about the details of the Prospect Reef Resort project from 3rd District Representative Julian Fraser in the House of Assembly on November 19th. The Premier said government and McAlpine are in the early stages of discussion and specific arrangements have not yet been negotiated and agreed.
Cabinet has agreed that McAlpine was successful in being awarded the opportunity to develop the Prospect Reef site, and McAlpine has agreed to pursue the development. We are now at the early stage of negotiating the development agreement, which will, among other things, detail the obligation of both parties, including how the arrangement for the Prospect site will be handled. Therefore, the specifics of the arrangement have not yet been negotiated or agreed. And B, Madam Speaker, I'm not at this stage aware of the specific structures of the McAlpine entities that are being used to pursue these 2 separate projects. However, I can confirm that McAlpine in both cases refers to the Cayman-based McAlpine operations, which is the Caribbean operations of Sir Robert McAlpine Limited, a leading UK building and civil engineering firm that provides a wide range of services.
When asked by the opposition member whether the Prospect Reef Resort project has gone through the tendering and procurement process as required by the protocols for effective financial management, Premier Smith said the tendering process is only applicable to capital projects being executed by government.
The tendering and procurement process as referred to by the member are not applicable here. This is because the requirements of Clause 11 and its subclasses are relevant to capital projects being executed and funded by government. However, as a matter of good governance and transparency, my government issued a request for an expression of interest, which was advertised regionally and globally. And on receipt from several parties, a selection process led by ministers of government was conducted, and the decision made by Cabinet on the most suitable investor to proceed with.
Madam Speaker, is that request for proposal available that we can get?
A request for expression of interest. I can get you a copy of that, of course.
Thank you, sir.
According to the Premier, 5 companies expressed interest in the Prospect Reef development project, and McAlpine was chosen by a selection committee. The Premier disclosed that Prospect Reef development project with McAlpine is not a public-private partnership. This prompted the 3rd District Representative to press further for information on the project, noting that it falls in his electoral district.
Madam Speaker, I would like to point out in this follow-up that I'm asking to the Premier that I am not sure, as he is clear, that this is not a publicly funded project, because the protocol does refer to public-private partnerships to be treated as public borrowing. And he hasn't been able to tell me whether it's going to be a public-private partnership, a lease, a sale, or what. So that's why, hence my question on 11, referring to 11A in the protocol, Madam Speaker. So, Premier, I'm not clear.
I can later. Let me set you my address. It's not a public-private partnership. No. Okay.
It's not a lease. Okay. Question number 13, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, could the Honourable Premier and Minister of Finance please tell us, Honourable House, what are government's obligations to the Prospect Reef Development Project under the agreement with McAlpine? And could he present this Honourable House with a copy of the agreement?
Madam Speaker, as I explained earlier, we are at the early stage of negotiating the development agreement. When the details of the agreement between the government of the Virgin Islands and McAlpine are finalized in respect to this project, its provisions will be made public, and the obligation of both the government of the Virgin Islands and McAlpine will be explained.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to ask the Premier on this project, follow up on this project. Madam Speaker, if the Premier would be willing to share some information with me, as considering it's in my district on this project, so that I don't be here asking questions on something that I probably should know.
The member of the judge asked if I would make available some information, and I would invite him to come to my office and we can share information that's available.
Speaker, I appreciate that very much.
The $100 million investment by McAlpine is expected to transform Prospect Reef into a 4- or 5-star luxury resort. Premier Smith said the development project is expected to bring quality jobs for the BVI workforce and contribute to the territory's long-term economic growth.